Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the flight deck. It is Wednesday, and that means we're continuing our U.S. Capitals tour. We're currently in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, capital Pennsylvania, and we're flying over to the capital of Ohio, which is Columbus. A bit of a longer flight today, about 2 hours. And we're going to be going up to 10,000 feet. We do have some weather in the area here, but the forecast is it should clear out a bit as we get out towards Ohio. So let's hop on board and get this Allegheny Airlines DC-3 up and running. Alright, let's take our seat here and we can get her ready to go. So we'll get the windows open for the start. And we've got about half fuel in the outer tanks and about 90% fuel in the inner tanks, which should be more than enough to get us to our destination today. So everybody is pretty much on. We can come down the back and close the doors. There we go. So make sure everything is set, mixture is fully off, props are fully back, and throttles are back as well. Scroll this up, we're going to be using that shortly. There we go. So we'll grab the current weather here at Harrisburg. I'll throw it up into the chat. There we go. So winds are 240 at 3, so we're going to be taking off on runway 31. Again, we're right alongside the river here. A few clouds at 3,000 feet, overcast at 10,000 feet, 26 degrees. QNH is 3012, so we'll get that in here. 3012, there we go. That is set and cross-checked. And yeah, winds are very light, so we're not going to be worried too much about that. So let's get the engines up and going, and we can start getting her warmed up. So we're going to switch down here. We're going to go to the main tanks. There's the left main, and over here on the right main. Let's get that back down. We're going to have them hook up the battery cart. And we can hear the avionics starting to come up. We'll turn on our position lights so that you know that we're powered up. And we can get ready. We're going to start the right engine first. So mags are going to go to both. Generators on. Boost pumps on. We're going to come down to the mixture. Mixture is going to go to auto rich. Throttle is going to go cracked to about an inch. And we will energize the right engine. You can hear it winding up. See if we're in a good spot to watch it crank. And we will mesh the right and prime right. Nope, she did not catch on the first attempt, so let's do that again. We will energize the right. Alright, she sounds good. Meshing right and primer. That sounds better. She is ready. She'll slowly start to catch up a little bit. There she goes. As she starts to warm and everything starts firing on all cylinders. So we can get the other engine up. So we'll get the generator on, boost pumps are on. We'll get the left engine starting to energize as well. And there she sounds about right. And we'll mesh and hit the left engine. No, didn't quite catch, so we'll try that again. Energize. It's just cut off. Get the energize going. Would help if I turn on the mags. Alright, generators on, boost pumps are on, mags, everything is good there. Meshing left and hit the prime. And there we go. Finally got the right engine up and running as well. So we're going to let the engines warm up. While we're doing that, we're going to get a few lights on in here. We'll get the cockpit lights on. With the generators going on the engines, we can have them disconnect the battery cart, and we'll switch over to internal battery. Avionics can come on now. Beacon light on, obviously, as we're running. And we'll get the pitot heat on as well. So we're going to bring the engines up to 1,000 RPM. That'll help with their warming up. I'll just keep an eye on that. And there we go. So we're going to be doing some radio navigation today. So we're going to come over, we're going to set 122.8 on COM 1. Standard Unicom frequency in the sim world, and 121.5, which is the guard channel on COM 2. And as I've explained, that was the emergency distress channel, and if we're intercepted by the Air Force, that's what they'll contact us on. Now, the first waypoint we're going to need will be, and I'm just pulling it up here, the Harrisburg VOR. 112.5. So we're going to come up to 1125. Flick that over. Second one is going to be the JST VOR of 113. And we will make sure that that is over here in nav 2. And then the one after that will be the AIR VOR of 117.1. Go. So that is all lined up. So when we leave the Harrisburg VOR for the JST VOR, we want to be on a heading of 282 degrees. So we're going to come down here and we will set this for 200 and roughly 82 degrees, somewhere around there. And as we depart out of where we are, we're going to be heading at approximately a 305. So we're going to come in here and go to 305, which should give us our rough heading towards the first VOR as we head towards it. All right. Quick cross-reference check. Elevation here is 310 feet. That is looking good. So we're going to be taking off on runway 31. So we're going to be taxiing out here to Alpha. We're then going to taxi down to Alpha to, we can go to Echo, and we'll take off from Echo, so not too far. Alright, so I think we're pretty well warmed up. We can take a look at the traffic in the area. Again, we are on multiplayer, so we can see there's a little bit of traffic around. We'll leave that on now. So we're going to head out here to Alpha. We'll go down to Echo, which is just down here, and we're going to be taking off in that direction. Let's get the windows closed. We are ready to go. So we'll get our landing lights on as we taxi out. Everything else is looking good. De-ices are not required. We're good up top. Generators lights on, and we're open, and we are set to go. Alright, so we're going to release the brakes, and we're going to taxi out. So first officer Molly got her second round of shots yesterday. She was a little put out, and that's why we didn't do the stream yesterday. We're taking care of her, but she's doing much better today. And as we get closer to our destination, I'll let her out of her crate. She can just curl up outside on the couch or something while we do the last little bit. Everything is looking good. So Kevin might be joining us in the chat. He might be joining us in the sim as well. He's having issues getting up and going. We'll see what happens there. But at the moment, we're just going to taxi down here on Alpha down to Echo. This Harrisburg, Pennsylvania airport. This is add-on scenery from flightsim.to. Adds the parking garage and the terminal building and makes it look a little bit nicer. Columbus, Ohio is done as well, so we'll see how that looks when we get there. Again, we're flying the Allegheny Airlines. Ignore the other registration on the back. I was doing something earlier, forgot to remove the customization, and I forgot it puts it on every aircraft, so that's why that's showing up there. We'll just have to ignore that. As we taxi down, we're going to come back over here, and I'm going to, there we go, switch the hydraulics over so it gives me the gyro pilot. As mentioned, we will be using that. A 305 basically dialed in so that we're ready to go. And we're not going to need all the runway. We're going to go flaps 1 for takeoff. And as the approach path is clear, we'll just move out into position and get ready to go. We'll climb up to about 500 feet, and then we'll make our turn to that 305 heading. Got a nice riverside airport here. I believe that is the border between the two states. Maryland and I think it's Virginia on the other side. Not 100% sure. All right, so there we are. It's almost going to be a straight shot off as we go out. Bring the engines up to about 20 inches of pressure. Make sure everything stabilizes. We are looking good. Brakes released. Bringing her up to 40 inches of power. Put a forward pressure on the yoke. Get the tail up. Comes. Bit of rudder to correct for the swing. Slowly easing the pressure off. A little bit of back pressure as we hit 80, and up we go. Let's leave the gear down until we're clear of the runway in case we want to go back. I think we're looking good. The gear can come up. flying straight out. So 800 feet, that'll give us our 500 feet above the ground. Flaps will come in. There we go. Flaps in. We're going to bring the engine RPMs to 2500 RPM and our manifold pressure back to 35 inches for our climb power. And we're going to climb her out at about 100. Letting that nose down. To about 100. Somewhere in about there. Alright, so gyro pilot can come on. Gonna get the airplane climbing here. Course. Increase that climb rate to we're about 110 for our climb speed. There's Harrisburg. Right here. No, maybe that river is not the border, because the town seems to sit on both sides. Just 2,000 feet. As mentioned, we're going up to 10,000 for today's flight. There we go. Alright, so gears up. Flaps are up. Turn the landing lights off. And we're coming up for the Allegheny Mountains here. See off in the distance. Good climb speed. We'll watch that. It's going to get a little bit slower as we get higher, as the air thins out. We're also going to have to keep an eye on our pressures, especially the manifold pressure. Keep that 35 inches. As the air thins, the pressure will drop, and that means our power is dropping as well. So one thing we do not have is a DME, so we don't know our distance to the VOR. See our airspeed's dropping down a little bit, so we'll nose her down. Get her down to somewhere in that 500 feet per minute. Should be good. Hey, Kevin. I take it you had no luck. Alright, there's 4,500 feet. We're climbing up to 10,000 for today's flight. Is that engine pressure coming back? So up on the throttles, keep that power up. Oh, okay. So you are you going to be joining us? That's us through 5,000 feet. We're halfway up to our climb altitude. We're leaving the cowl flaps wide open as the engines are pushing hard to get us up to climb. So your temperatures are up, but we'll be okay. Once we're up at cruise and we pull back in that colder air, we should be good for going into trail. The engines self-regulate. Just watching for outside air temperature. Not really seeing an outside air temperature gauge. Oh, you still haven't got the sim fired up. Ah, I see. There's 6,000 feet. Get her down closer to a 500 foot per minute climb. Get that speed creeping up slightly. There's the power coming back again, so we'll bring her up again. Yeah, not seeing an outside air temperature. But if you use the standard 2 degrees per 10,000 feet, it's a 20-degree drop, and given that the temperature down on the ground was 26 degrees, we're going to be 6 degrees above at 10,000, so should be okay for icing. Here's the Alleghenies. $7,000 feet. Oh, okay. I thought this was a ammeter because I saw the plus and the minus. That makes sense. Okay. So yeah, we're coming down towards 6 degrees, so we're not too bad. We may be in the clouds, but not much we can do about that. Still climbing nicely. Just above 110 knots. We're just climbing at about 800 feet per minute. Coming up on 8,000 feet. Still got some travel room in the throttles. Oh, and we've reached our point here. You see, we've flipped over the thing, so we want to head to a 282 degrees. We'll go 280. Yeah, they are, now that I think about it. That's them over there. so we'll get this turn in. Let her get wings level again. Watching our speed as we head out towards the next VOR, which is the JST VOR. So pop up, we'll switch over on both, and after 117 we're going to want 11495. There we go. One 710. We're basically flying across the state of Pennsylvania for a large part of this. Once we get kind of set up in our cruise, I'll bring the map up so you can see where we are. Alright, 1,000 to go. Nicely up in the clouds now. So batteries are on, avionics are on, beacons on, passing lights are off, landing lights are off, position lights are on, PO heaters on, wing lights are off, our de-icer's off, primer's off. It's all good there. We're good. Boost pumps can come off. 500 feet to go. And throttles are now up against the stops at 35 inches. That's good. Cruise, we only need 30, so should be good there. Alright, we're going to wind down to level flight now as we hit 10,000 feet. That will allow our speed to start to build up. And once we reach about 140, we'll go into cruise power. We're letting the aircraft pick up speed before we throttle back a little bit. Alright, so there's 140, so the RPM is coming back to 2,000 RPM. There we go, and engine power back to 30 inches. We set the RPM to 2,000. Make sure the engines are at 30 inches. Get that nose down until we stabilize and level flight at this power setting. We can trail the cowl flaps, decrease the drag off of those. Keep watching our attitude. Make sure that we do end up level once we're up to speed. There's 160. Bring the nose up slightly. Hi, Tanisha. Yeah, I was looking for one that was appropriate for this series, and the Allegheny Airlines, I mean, it flew in the area, flew in the period, so looks nice. And it's going to be a good one to fly around the U.S. as we do this tour. All right, so there we go. We're pretty much about 170 knots level, roughly 10,000 feet. We're going to bring the mixture on the two engines back into auto lean. There we go. Fuel flow is going to come down now to the perfect mixture. And we are set and cruising. Just going to keep an eye on our altitude, make sure we're not dropping down too much. And as I mentioned, we're flying towards the Johnstown VOR. It's not picking it up yet, but we are heading in the right direction as per the indicator here, which we've tuned in off our chart, which we have all our written directions on. So hopefully the VOR will pick up shortly once we're partway over the Alleghenies here, clipping through the clouds. So as we cruise along here, we are almost at our goal of 700 subscribers by the end of summer. Really just one more to go. So if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Every time you subscribe to the channel, a pilot gets his wings. So that would be nice for another pilot to get their wings. You can also consider liking, leaving a comment on the live stream or the video chat if you want. I do read them and reply to them. And if you're looking to get into simming, and or if you already sim and want some people to fly with, all my live streams are open. You can fly along if you wish. You can come over to the Discord. Link is in the description. I will throw it into the chat as well. And you can come in if you have any questions about what we do and where we fly. And if you want to see where we fly, get the information, you can get it there. You can also ask any questions that you want, and we have some knowledgeable people that'll be able to help out and get you fixed up with answers to those questions. If you really want to support us and what we do and help us keep doing what we do, you can join the channel as a member. There's some perks coming, and private member videos eventually, some emojis. You can request flights and routes and liveries for custom flights I can do, and other neat stuff like that. Plus it just it's helping the channel. See me heading downwards a lot here, so let's check on my power settings. We are losing speed, so I'm going to assume we are iced up. So we're going to come over here to this one, and we're going to go on for our anti-ice here, and we are going to get some heat going into those carbs. So we come over here to our carb icing. We're in the green, but we seem to be losing airspeed more than we should be. I'm not sure why, unless we're actually icing up in here. Although I do have the icing off. What we can do is we can come up, we can turn on the wing de-icer and the prop de-icer. See if that makes a difference as well. I'm also going to make sure we're not climbing here. Now the thing about the carb heat is it does actually drop your power because you're putting hot air into the engine through the carb, which it doesn't really like. It wants cold air, but it does melt any ice that's there. And as you can see, look for carb temperatures. They're in the green. They're not giving the warnings, and down here in the yellow in the icing area. I'm not sure what's happening there. Our speed has slowed down. Everything seems to be good. We should be doing about 175 in level flight. We are more or less level. Temperatures are good. We're in the green. Outside air temperature is up. Let's pop back over here. Turn those carbides or the carb air off. See what happens here. Nose down slightly more. See that speed starts to come up. So 113 is that VOR. So we'll see if it comes in soon. Still seems to be climbing. Speed's coming up a little bit. I don't know if I was icing up or not. I do have icing effects turned off in the sim. Interesting. You seem to be bouncing around a little bit, but speed's slowly working its way back up again. So we've got 239 miles to go. I will be popping in and out of the cockpit. I do have to take care of the pup. But I will be checking on it as well. So now, since we are up in this cruise mode, let's see what we have music-wise. I think we're gonna go with a little bit of lo-fi today. Get that up and going. Turn it on. A little bit of music in the background. As we cruise along. So I did mention that the routes were going to get bigger the more we move out of New England and into the old territories, which of course were bigger areas, and then the newer additions on the west coast. So the flight times are going to increase a little bit as we go there, which we are starting to see, especially with this flight. I'll leave the anti-ice on. It's not fluid based, so we should be okay to leave them on and running. Alright, I'm going to pop out for a few minutes, take a look at the pup, and see how she is doing. I will be back in a couple minutes. Hello, Liam. How are you? Seem to be climbing up slightly here, so we're gonna just nudge down. Try to get us back down towards that 10,000 feet. Alright, well, we're looking good. I'm not doing too bad. Not doing too bad. It's a rainy day here, so not really doing all that much. Taking care of the pup and getting a little flying in today. Alright, we're picking up the VOR and you can see we're slightly off course. We want to adjust more up this way. We're also picking up the next VOR as well, which is the air VOR. It was a 2-hour flight, so probably about an hour and a half. There we go. We seem to be heading up towards the VOR again now. More in that direction. Weather out at Columbus is supposed to be nicer than here, so that should not create too much of an issue. Also, the winds seem to go dead calm, which was a little strange since they're about 8 or 9 knots all day long. Let's see if we can get an update. Oh, there we go. We got an update. Yeah, winds are 6 knots, and some clouds in the area, but nothing too low. Speaking of which, we've just gone back into the clouds now ourselves. Your new profile is a picture of Sully. Oh, is it? Okay, cool. A little hard to see, but yeah, I think I can see the buildings there. Looks like we're getting into threats of carb icing, so we're going to watch our speed. So we get down to 10,000 feet again. Do have our pitot heats on, so shouldn't have any issues with our pitots freezing up. Just seem to be crossing under that overcast layer at 10,000. We're going to be passing south of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Again, we seem to be flying mostly through Pennsylvania from one side to the other. There we are, coming out of those clouds. Speed's holding up. Coming back down to 10,000 feet. See Pittsburgh right there. You come up and then come just south of it as we head out towards Ohio. A few aircraft in the area. Again, we're on multiplayer. The airport at Columbus is fairly large. Again, I've downloaded it from flightsim.to. See how it looks. We're going to land on let's see, what are the winds doing there again? 24, so we're going to land on runway 28 right. It's 8,000 feet. And then we'll park at the north side of the terminal. About 165 knots. Or sorry, miles an hour. That's even slower. Everything is looking okay. So tomorrow I'm going to try the Asobo 747 with the new AAU2 update. And we'll see how that works. Just looking around my chair for the puppy. She's on her bed in the other room. Molly's doing good. Molly got her second shots yesterday, and it was pretty sore. She was yipping a lot whenever she moved and I touched her. But by the evening time, she was coming around, and this morning she was up and bouncing like normal. So she's doing really good this morning. Just stuck her head around the corner. Hi. I know. Go play with your toys. She didn't eat all of her breakfast this morning, so I think she's getting a little bit hungry. I'm gonna go give her a little treat, and then I'll be right back. Just gave her something to chew on. Liam, Kevin does a lot of flying with me on a lot of these flights on the live streams, but he's been away for a good chunk this summer and he's been pretty busy, so he hasn't made as many flights as he would like to. Looks like our speed's coming back up to about 170, which is nice to see. We're almost down to 10,000 feet again. I wonder if we were running into some wind. Well, that wouldn't affect my airspeed, that would affect my ground speed. See, we're starting to pass that VOR. So what I'm going to do is we're going to switch over to the next one, 117.1. And after that, yeah, 11495 is the last one. And I'm going to tune in the ILS. So we're going to look at landing on 28 right on the ILS, 1091. So we're going to dial that in, just use it as a guide, as a guide reference. Alright, so the next heading we want there, so we want to turn to about a 255. I'm going to head off towards that VOR now. Oh, it's a little bit too far. Let's go to more of a 270. See how we do. There we go. That's better. So this is going to take us towards the air VOR. Come up a little bit. You can hear Molly in the background. Alright, nicely level. Looking very nice as we cruise along. A few aircraft in the area. Kevin, I'm assuming you didn't get up in the end? Looks like multiplayer bugs go. Oh, that doesn't look good. So we got some weather coming in. Weather front. It is a fun plane. I like the DC-3. It's a good old-fashioned 1930s, mid-1930s airliner. Of course, used during the Second World War as well. It is a nice one. I do like it. And it's a fun one for this series since we're just hopping from one state to the next. The distances aren't too long. So it's a nice one to fly and cruise along it. So I'm going to try to keep this thing level. just check on something.
Alright, hello Sigma Edits, welcome to the stream, glad you could join us. Just making sure you can hear that audio in the background as it's playing. I'll try to keep her around 10,000 feet. Coming to the clouds here. We're up at 10,000 feet. And we're just heading into some weather here. The town of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is coming up. It's over in this direction. Johnstown is right over here. We are looking really good. So let's run down the gauges. We got our airspeed is slowly starting to drop again. I'm not sure exactly why. I'm going to come down here again to the carb heat. So we look, we're in the caution area for carb heat on both sides of the engines, on both engines. So I'm going to pull the carb heats back into the hot position. What this does is it redirects air from around the exhaust into the carbs. You can see they're now up into the green. So with the colder air, sub-zero temperatures, and then the moisture as we go through the clouds going into the carburetor, you can get icing starting to form inside the carbs, and that icing will block airflow, which means you get a reduction in power of the engine. So by putting the hot air through it, it melts the ice. The problem is it makes the engines run a little bit rougher, and but it does get rid of the ice. You can see your speed, we're coming back to close to 150, but I do have it on. It might take a few minutes to clear it out. We'll see how that works. Looks like it's starting to stabilize a little bit. Outside air temperature is about 6 degrees, but due to the way the carbs work, there's a temperature drop inside them. And I see we're coming down to 150. We're pretty much level though. Hey Sigma, thank you very much. Appreciate you joining there. Greatly appreciated. And it is always nice to see somebody from outside North America come in and join us in the flight deck crew as we do our thing. And congratulations to you. Our goal was to get 700 subscribers by the end of the summer. We're not quite there yet, and you are subscriber number 700. So Sigma Edits, thank you very much for helping us achieve that goal. Trying to keep us about that 10,000 feet. Alright, and we're just working our way down towards the next waypoint. So I am going to cut us a little bit further to the north. Go to about there, a 278. Heading. Actually, we'll go right up to a 280. And what I'm going to do
is the music is playing. Let's get a look outside of here. We're going to look out of Roger's side on the aircraft. And I'm going to do something risky since we don't really have an autopilot on this thing, which is just kind of balanced. I am going to step away. I'm going to take Molly outside for a few minutes and let her do her thing. So, Liam, you're in charge of the airplane. If you keep us flying nicely, and I will be back hopefully in about 5 minutes. All right, we're back. Liam, you did a good job. We're still flying. We're going up a little bit, and our speed's back to 140, but let's get her going down. There, we're getting some moisture going on. Let's see what's been happening here. Liam, oh, thank you very much for joining. Welcome to the ground crew. Remember to come over to the Discord if you haven't already, and get yourself logged in over there, and we'll get you set up with access to the members only channel. Greatly appreciated. Thank you very, very much. And Sigma Edits has left. I also see there is a message over on Twitch. Now that I'm back, let me go. Love your video and fight you play excellent well. Your content seems very cool, but I noticed something is not well set up on your channel, which could lead low performance. Before Discord. Would you push out in Discord? No. Thank you, but no. I am all good. Alright, so we're making our way. We are south of Pittsburgh. Speed coming back. We do have the carb heat on. We are in the clouds, so I'm not sure if it's an icing issue or not. I do have the anti-ice still on. So it should be working fine. We're going to get her nosing back down towards that 1,000 or 10,000 foot. Well, Sigma, thank you very much. Do appreciate that. And we stream several times a week. Well, 5 or 6 times a week if the schedule allows. And when I'm away and not available for streaming, I try to get at least 1 or 2 videos out during the period. So there's always something going on the channel. So thanks again for coming along and participating. Oh, there was a nice break out of the clouds. And we're going right back into them by the looks of it. A little bit of downwards action there on the trim. Just keep ourselves descending down. So the schedule for the rest of the week, we do not stream on Thursdays. That's my day off, so no stream tomorrow. Friday, we're back in Aurora. We will be flying out of Oakland, California, heading back up to Vancouver, British Columbia. And that, whoa! Oh, there's only one guy I know that likes to do that to me. And there he is. Wayne, good to see you. Oh, that brings back memories. Nice to see your spit up here. Very nice. Very cool indeed. Good to see you again. That's awesome getting that Spitfire Escort once again. It's been too long. Too long, sir. Dega for sure. So as I mentioned, tomorrow we're back in Aurora. And we are doing our last of our Aurora flights, at which point we were transferring to Satan, and we're going to be starting some 737-700 flights out of the U.S. With that division of Fly UK. Saturday we're back on our crossing around the Atlantic. We're working our way across the top right now. We were last landed in Iceland, and on Saturday we're going to be heading from Iceland over to Oslo, Norway. Sunday we're back in the 747 doing the support to the Formula 1 series. We're flying from Hungary over to Brussels, Belgium, 747. And no Kevin, no flights tomorrow. Did I say tomorrow? Saturday. Aurora on Friday, around the Atlantic on Saturday, F1 series on Sunday. Monday we start a new series. We are flying the ATR 72-600, and we will be flying in Japan. So this tour will take us from the northern tip of Japan all the way to the south, flying the ATR 7600 or 72-600. So I'm looking forward to that one. Should be a very good flight as well. Pittsburgh is off in that direction. You will not really be able to see it due to the clouds. It's over there, but I'm hearing another engine around me. There he is. Looks like Wayne is back. There we go. Las Vegas to Salt Lake. We'll see if it pops up on the list there, Liam. All right. Well, it looks nice with the clouds here as we come out of the other side, but still got some heavy weather we're passing through here. I know they're facing some heavy storms from the Hurricane Hillary, I think, coming up the west coast off the Pacific. So they're having issues out there at the moment. All right, getting back down to that 10,000 foot mark. And we've passed the halfway mark on the flight. So we should be able to do a straight in approach. We're going to be coming at a fairly decent angle for it as we come off of the ZZV, which is the Zanesville VOR. That is the 114951, which we're actually pointing towards down there. So we can actually switch that over now. 11495. It is within range. And then I'm going to put the ILS in now of 1091. So we can do a slight course correction. And everything is moving along. So if we do a little bit of a wheel jiggle here, we get the radial that we're on lined up. And then we can make sure that we're actually flying the radial. Yeah, that's good, Liam. We all start somewhere. And for me, it's more about just having fun and enjoying rather than... I'm not trying to build this as a thing. There's the lights. Don't need the lights at the moment. Not too dark out. See if we can see Wayne out there. Sorry, just had to check the cable on my microphone. There's a little bit of static there. Wanted to make sure it wasn't the sim starting to go on me. He's in the back there. So Wayne, how have you been? Things are going well for you. Getting some good grandkid time in. I think you mentioned that before, the name of the aircraft. Some interesting cloud buildups. I'm sure there's a lot of rainstorms around here. It's raining in Toronto right now. I mean, it's been on and off all day long. Definitely overcast. Airport elevation, not that we're anywhere closer. Airport elevation of Columbus is 1,800 feet, so it's going to be, or 800 feet, it's going to be an 1,800 foot circuit. Height, just have to bear that in mind when we come in. It's very hilly down here in this area of Pennsylvania. If you ever drive down through here, it's really cool. Very scenic, lots of nice rolling hills and stuff. This is that whole steel town, the Billy Joel song, Allentown, Pennsylvania. Song that he has about the steel towns and all that. This is the area here. The rolling hills of the Alleghenies, the mines, the rivers. Of course, Pittsburgh, which is back over here, is a major steel town. I was gonna say that weak sun, but we're in the middle of August. It should be brighter than that. There he is, down below us. Very nice. So 122 miles to go. All right, everything is looking good. Come back over here. We'll get that hot air off again. See, we're dropping back into the temperature area. We'll watch for our power. See, it's starting to come up again in our speed as we get the power back to normal. You like the name Christine? Yeah, it's a nice one. So after the Round the Atlantic tour ends, we have another one lined up for that. We'll be back in another vintage aircraft for that series as well. So we're going to be having some fun with those. Friday nights is going to remain our 737 or Boeing night. We'll be flying the 737-700 for quite a while on Friday nights. And Wednesdays is going to be our multiplayer, such as this, as we figure out little routes and things we can do and places we can fly. We may even bring back small aircraft once again. Little single engine prop jobs. Do some flying around in some interesting areas. I'll have to do some research on that. So here you see KCLE, that's Cleveland. Cleveland is in Ohio.
border is somewhere around here. So we're almost at the Ohio border. I'm flown across Pennsylvania. Just keeping ourselves nice and level here. Try not to let the altitude get too high. Let's see if we got a weather update down in Columbus. Nope, winds 240 at 6. Bit of scattered at 4,200, broken at 25,000. 31 degrees, it is hot. 3003. Might as well dial that in now. There we go, 3003. Somewhere about there. And yeah, 31 degrees. Hot down in Ohio. Alright, we're veering off our course a little bit, so we're going to do a little bit of a correction. Coming up on the Ohio River. I think we can just make it out ahead. There she is there. Looking pretty decent. 111 miles to go. We should be down in about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. We got some beautiful cloud formations around. But I feel very safe with my own personal Spitfire Escort. So Wayne, how's that that model going that you were building? Did you get much further on it, or did you maybe even finish it? There's a nice shot coming out of the clouds. And there's the big stacks like I was saying. Oh, you got it all done? Excellent. Oh, nice big clear patch here. Speed's looking back up to about where it should be. And yeah, we are looking good. Fuel is looking good. We're 120 gallons. As I said, I filled up the main tanks. So we're pretty good. We are in auto lean, so we're just burning enough fuel. A little off, heading towards the
VOR, so we'll make a adjustment towards getting ourselves lined up. There we go. Kind of looks like a power plant down there. Not 100% sure. There's 10,000, so we'll get a little bit of positive elevator in just to level us off. I don't know what's the ILS heading? 281. Let's pop down. We can get this dialed over to 281. So there's probably be about there. It'll be a visual approach anyway. Just use the ILS as a guide to get us into the right area. From the last VOR, we want to go to a 288 heading, roughly, up towards the airport. We're about a 280 now. Not sure which way the winds are pushing. But we'll get there. From the last beacon to the airport is roughly 10, 20, 30, maybe 40 miles. So after the last waypoint, which we're heading to right now, we will start our descent. It's 100 miles to go. Tune in our VOR 2 to the ILS frequency. Not that it's going to find it at this distance. No, it's funny, people complain about, oh, nice rainbow. People complain about economy class and stuff today, but this is the way people flew back in the mid to late 30s and right after the war, flying at DC-3s. I mean, they were noisy. I got a inside view set up. No, I don't. I mean, they were noisy, but fairly comfortable. Definitely more leg room and seating room than in the economy classes of today, especially on the low-cost carriers. They, I know my dad used to fly DC-3s for work back when he worked, had to travel around areas of the country, different regions. is in the mid-50s. Flying Trans-Canada Airlines. Very nice. Wayne's back there somewhere, hiding behind the fuselage. There he is. Right in behind us, tucked in tight. There we go. So 90 miles to go. See, we're starting to veer away, so let's start heading up towards it. And then, as mentioned, when we get to the VOR, we will begin our descent down towards the airport. Fairly gentle. Now, it said the winds were probably more of a headwind up here than a quartering. We'll see what the drift is like. I think we're out of the clouds now, so we're going to turn off the de-icers. Clear air, more or less. Let's see if that's going to get rid of any ice. Speed heading back up. Kevin, if you're still there, I can't remember, did Duckworks say that they were modeling carb icing? I know it seems to work because the temperature shoots up when I do that. Got the cowl flaps and trails, so we shouldn't be dragging them. Not really much change in the terrain down there. You know, I think we are in Ohio now. Yeah, I did a check the other day to see if there was an update, and there wasn't one, so I'm not sure. It is interesting when I apply it, we do get the temperature change, so I don't know why they wouldn't model in a little percentage drop on power, but I'm not getting anything back at the moment. Whoa, there's a little bit of close flying going on over there. the Zanesville VOR is coming up. We're heading towards it, and then we'll start down. We'll get down to about 3,000 feet and then level off there as we get ready to approach the airfield. Again, we're going to try to do this as a straight in. Imagine flying this thing across Texas, going from one side to the other. That would take a while. Or what was it when we flew the DC-3 San Francisco to Chicago? That was like 6.5 hours. I think it's only like a 3.5 hour flight right now, modern day. It is modeled, yeah. I mean, we're popping through the cloud tops. Shouldn't really be a issue. There's the temperature drop. A little increase in power as the cold air starts going into the engine again, which is what we're seeing. So yeah, maybe it is modeled. But if they have modeled it, they haven't modeled the sound. I mean, you definitely hear the engine start to run a little bit rough as the ice breaks up and gets ingested into the engine, and gets eaten by the engine. You do hear that sound, and you can feel the little bit of vibration while it's happening. That's one of the ways you confirm that you did in fact have carb ice, is when you get that feeling and you can hear that. The other way, obviously, is the change in power and all that stuff. So as mentioned, we're heading to Columbus, Ohio. Columbus being the capital city of Ohio. As this series takes us to all the state capitals. All right. Everything is looking good. Starting to increase our altitude again, so let's kick that downwards. So we got that cloud layer coming in again. $73 miles to go. I was looking at some pictures of some of those home cockpits guys have got set up, and wow, well, it would be fun to do. The cost would be incredible. Yeah, everything is looking good. That's looking good. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to drop off the map. We're almost to the point we're heading basically a straight line. Very nice. Keep that altitude under control. Try to get us back down to 10,000 feet again. I changed my yoke setup for the new Phoenix, and it added in that 30% dead spot curve sensitivity thing. And I know it's the same yoke setup for all the aircraft. And or for most of them anyway, and yeah, it feels nice. With a lot of these things, it gives a nice gentle onset for pitch and for pitch, positive and negative, which is really nice. All right, fuel's looking good. Columbus, Ohio was our destination today. Flying Allegheny Airlines Flight 111. Unfortunately, this is a big part of flying, especially slower aircraft. It's just sitting and waiting, monitoring. Seeing what happens. For me, it was always mainly enjoying the views. Once we were in cruise, and if I had autopilot, had the autopilot set. If not, had her trimmed to where she sat nicely at cruise altitude. And I was admiring the views. Tried not to fly more than 3.5 to 4 hours, just because of needing to stretch the legs and everything. But yeah, just staring out, watching the world go by. Alright, we're about 12 miles from the VOR. And once we hit that, we head towards the airfield. The gyro drift. Alright, let's say we're back up to about 170. Must be carb icing it's modeling, and it is putting in the power drops. Which is really interesting, really cool, nice to see. I need more levers. I need blower levers and carb levers. Well, we never used the, well, I haven't had to use the blowers yet, and there's the carb heats. I guess if we were going up to 16,000, 17,000 feet, we'd need the blowers. Especially if we were like doing a crossing the Rockies or something, which I guess we're going to do at some point. So there's that to look forward to. Now we are just doing the contiguous United States, which is the lower 48, not including Alaska, not including Hawaii. So, but we will have to cross the Rockies at some point to get over to the west coast. Not sure where we do it. Get us up to the VOR, and then we'll make the turn to 281 degrees, head towards the airport. Check. Okay, this is weird. Are you guys hearing me? Because my Streamlabs is showing no audio feedback on anything at the moment. Oh, it just all came back on. That was really weird. My sound levels were not showing anything. They were all... I could go into the stream and I could hear it there. And it was really... That was strange. That was confusing the hell out of me. Anyway, VOR swing is in place. We're starting to get that. So we're going to head to a heading of 281. Coming through fine now. Was there an issue? I don't know. Alright, so we're 46 miles away. We're going to start down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a bit of nose down, and we're going to bring the throttles back to 25 inches. We'll see where that holds us speed-wise. But we are going to start our descent. We're going to try to peg it around 500 feet per minute. And keep
keep it about there. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Like, I just happened to look up and there was no sound from the sim or from the mic. But when I went into the stream, because I clicked a couple switches, I went into the stream, I could hear the switches click. And then, I don't know what happened, it just suddenly, boom, they were back up and going again, so. Gremlins in the system. Alright, so like I said, we're going down to about 3,000 feet. Let's get the ILS into both sides. And I'm going to want to go a little bit more northerly. Let's go at about a 289 heading. Head towards the airfield. Keeping that 500 feet per minute and keeping that speed up, which is looking good. So descent checks, we can do a final weather check for the airfield. We have a update. Okay, winds are 190 at 8. We're going to be landing on 280, so that's going to give us a little bit of a crosswind. Broken at 4,300, 31 degrees, and 3001. So we can do a little change on our altimeter there and there. So we are now set there. So we're expecting a left crosswind as we come in. So Wayne's going to follow us down. That's through 9,000 feet now. And as mentioned, we're going to head towards the airport. We're not doing the ILS, but we're going to see if we can get it in and just help us make sure we're lined up roughly for when we do the visual intercept. So I'm going to turn a little bit more northerly. I want to intercept that line to the airport. And we'll keep her coming down. Oh, it looks like somebody unsubscribed. We're back at $6.99. So if you want to be the 700th subscriber, or the second 700th subscriber, please consider hitting the subscribe, joining us in. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps me promote the channel. Hit the like button, gets this out there, and lets people know what we're doing. If you want to come along and join in the fun, like Wayne is back there in his Spitfire, you can. Get those names out? There we go. You can come over to the Discord. Links are in the description. You can join in, find out what we're flying and where. And you can join us with that. And if you really, really want to support the channel, help with what I do, helps me get some of the aircraft and airports that we fly into and everything, you consider joining the channel and becoming a channel member. Certain perks are available. Working on a couple more as well, so you can do that and know that you're helping just keep this going and creating a nice fun environment for us to do our flight simming in. And don't forget, if you have any questions about the sim, about flying with us or any of the aircraft, you can come over to the Discord, ask there. Lots of people know how to fix things, and computer-wise, sim-wise, or at least have some experience in the aircraft, so they can help you out with that as well if you're looking for assistance there. So that's us through 8,000 feet. We seem to be coming along nicely here. Oh, there goes Wayne. Doing 150 ground speed and 500 feet per minute.
So we want to go down, as I said, to 3,000. That's going to be another 5,000. So that'll be every 2 minutes, so about 10 minutes to get us down. We'll see where that puts us. So the weather update is done. Fuel is good on both tanks. Temperatures and pressures are looking good. Carb temperature is cold, but we're in clean air or clear air. Outside air temperature is coming up now. Currently at 20 degrees. Icing is not an issue. Fuel pressure is good. Oil pressure is good. Bring those power levers back to 25 again. Power is going up as we're getting into the thicker air, and RPMs are holding steady. VOR frequency of 109.1 is set. That is the ILS for runway 28 right. So we're going to be doing the visual approach on it when we get there. We're through 7,400 feet, descending to 3,000. So 4,300 is that cloud level. After that, it should be clear skies. You can see the clouds there, and that seems to be about right for the cloud deck. All right, slight heading adjustment now. Final adjustment for taking into account gyro drift. Minimums for the approach, well, 1,000 feet, 1,013, which is 200 feet, that is fine. Missed approach, we'll just carry on up and we'll do a left-hand circuit and come around and give it another shot, as we are going to be doing the visual. Not seeing a name for this lake here, but we're traveling just coming up to the south of Newark, Ohio. In fact, if we look out the window in Newark, it's just over there. 6,500 feet, so descending at 5,000 feet per minute. 500 feet per minute. Like I said, 5,000. That would be quite the descent. Alright, and as we come down here, we will shut off the music. So the airport should be straight ahead, about 23 miles out. Still descending down. This is another town called Hebron. We passed one of these earlier. That's Hebron right here. So cylinder head temperatures are good, carb air is good, oil temperatures are good, fuel pressure, oil pressures are good, RPM and manifold pressures are good. ILS just kicked in.
So there's the airport over there, and I've got the rabbits. Alright, turning to 281 degrees. More like that. There's the one we want, 28 right. And we are 19 miles out. So we're going to increase our rate of descent. And we're going to pull the power back to 20 inches. And we're coming in straight in. Going to do a no-nonsense visual approach. It's 5,000 feet, about 3,200 to go. See the glide slopes come in as well. But we're doing a visual here, so we are okay. "15 miles, 4,500 feet. There's our escort. And you see we left that massive cloud front behind us. So a little bit of cloud here, where it's 4,300 feet, they were saying with the bottom. It's pretty accurate. Alright, so there's the airport coming up ahead. It's 4,000 feet, we're about 11 miles out. See, we're kind of offset of the localizer, which is why it's showing there. So let's make a turn this way. See if we get ourselves lined up. And the localizer's starting to come in. Again, we're not flying it, but we'll just use it to line ourselves up. And there's 281. There we go. Alright, so that's just coming up for 3,000 feet. So autopilot is now off. I have control. So props coming fully forward. Mixture is fully rich, or is in auto rich. Probably did that a little early, but that's okay. Bring the power back. We're just basically going to fly her right in. Start trimming her out. That speed start to come back. Alright, there's 2,500 feet. About 1,300 feet above the airport. It's 8 miles. Get that power back. And we'll go flaps 1. $120. Got looks like 3 reds, 1 white. On a pretty shallow angle. We're not doing the ILS. There's 2 and 2. Heading in. There's 6 miles, gear down. Green light. 110 knots, flaps 2. Gump jet is gas, so fuel is on main tanks, left and right. Undercarriage is down, mixtures fully forward, or mixtures auto rich, and props fully forward. 2 and 2. 3 miles out, flaps 3. Speed down to 100. Slightly low. We'll have power. Pitch controls, power controls pitch, so the more power, the steeper the pitch. Since the trim stays the same, you trim for speed and then you use power to control your angle. Right now I'm trimmed at about 95 knots, but we're going to bring that back to about 85 in a second. There goes Wayne. We're down to 90. Adding power. Trimming back. And there we go. Landing flaps set. We're going to come in at about 85 or so. Good. Winds should be out of the left. A little bit of a left crosswind. And we've got plenty of runway length here to use. It's the interstate. Bit of a crab going. Alright, 2 and 2 on the lights. $85 knots, looking good. Down to 80, let a little bit of power. High. Ease the power back. Yeah, there's that crosswind. Alright, bring the crab in as we come down. Keep her lined up. Power back. Easing her back. Let her settle. There we go. She's down. Control with the rudder, flaps off, and pin the nose. Use it to help slow down.
keep the tail up, and now ease her back. There we go, tail is down. Alright, we'll get off here. And we're going to taxi down, we'll get the flaps up. Leg slam. We'll get her around the corner. We're going to go park that on the east end of the airfield. Alright, now that we're down, we can reopen the cowl flaps, get some cool air going in there. We'll kill the landing lights, we don't need those. Pitot heat can come off, that's all off. Get the boost pumps on, just in case. Should have had those on for landing, but we didn't. But that's fine. Alright, taxi down to the far end here. And we'll park up near the terminal. Alright, so that was a nice smooth approach and landing. Just a little bit more, what would you call it? A little bit more firmness needed on the rudder pedals to keep her aligned and straight. I'm always a little hesitant to slam them around too much, but you actually have to. Alright, we're going to come down here to Echo 1. Park in here. I'm not sure where Wayne went. He was heading down this way. Alright, we'll get the tail back to make sure we got nice authority on the tail wheel as she swings around. A little bit of brakes. Put her over here by the poles. Again, this is custom scenery for Columbus, Ohio. Oh, there's Wayne down there. That road looks fun to drive on. Alright, we're going to come into parking spot 4. There we go. Nicely lined up. Get on the brakes. There we are. So, parking brakes are now set. Very, very good. So we're going to bring the engines up to 1,000 RPM. Just make sure that they have a chance to properly settle. As I mentioned before, the reason we do this is oh, right, yeah. Allows for better cooling of the engine with the differential metals and everything like that. Controls the temperature so that you don't get shock cooling, and then pulls all the oil out of the sump so that it splashes it around and make sure that the engines are ready to be lubricated for shutdown. There we go. Alright, so we're going to turn off the engines. First engine is going to be the last one to start, will be the first one down. So engine number 2, mixture goes to fuel cutoff. There we go. And we'll go over here to engine number 2. First one we started. We get mixture to fuel cutoff. There we go. And throttles are closed. So we can come up top, make sure everything is off. Position lights are off, landing lights are off, beacon light can come off now. Avionics go off. We'll switch over to the battery cart. And we can come down and open the back doors. And there we are, all set up, and there is Wayne beside us. Well, thanks very much for coming along. This was a bit of a longer one for the DC-3, but we're going to see more of that as we move into the stream. Liam, thank you very much once again for supporting the channel and becoming a member. We'll see you over on the Discord. Make sure you send me a DM when you're there so I can get your level adjusted so that you have access into the members' channels. We'll be back on Friday, flying Aurora out of Oakland, California, heading back up to Vancouver, British Columbia. Thank you very much once again. See you on the next one. Bye for now.